This is the business guru propaganda that I'm not falling for in 2026 to become successful. You're going to love this one. It keeps me up at night still. Like, it genuinely does. It's painful. Like, it's one of the hardest things I've had to go through the last couple of years. It just requires work and time. I know what I need to do. I just need to execute. I've never said I've got regrets before, but it is one of those things I look back and I'm like, I wish I didn't do that. I'm not going to make a promise I'm not going to keep. You need to have a story. You need to have a reason for why people want to know you. Alright guys, welcome back, and I'm excited to make this one. This is the business guru propaganda that I'm not falling for in 2026 to become successful or to grow even further. Now, if you are trying to grow or scale a service business online, you're going to love this one. And you've probably sat there for years consuming all this content, especially all the hustle bro culture. And some of it you may resonate with, some of it you've probably tried all of it. Now, over the last 5 years since COVID, we set up a gym. We've scaled my online coaching business into PB Academy, a full team of coaches and a sales system. We grew that to over 250 active clients. We grew our gym to over 500 members, totally different businesses. One's local, one's online. Now that's just a bit of validation just from my past and what we've done over the last couple of years alone. And I want to tell you the stuff I've done and the stuff mainly in this video that I'm not going to be doing in 2026 to grow even further. Okay, and this is very specific. It's about me and my particular part in the journey, but a lot of it will resonate to you, and you can really start to think about, do I really need to be doing this stuff? Or maybe, yes, I do. It might give you the revelation of, yes, I need to be doing that, or yes, maybe I'm at a point in my journey where I don't need to be doing that. And the whole point of this as well, by the way, is that there are chapters and seasons of life for everything, where some of these are still relevant, some of them are not. The problem with online and social media and content and consumption and podcasts and everything is that the person is speaking to someone, and it's usually the target audience in mind. And sometimes just because we like that person or they've helped us before with their content, we can think it still applies to us. You need to think about, does this apply to me? And this is what I want you to do with this video. So hopefully you like this. If you want to subscribe, this is all about growing and scaling a service business online, specifically for coaches. But I'm going to try and slow down and enjoy this because I've been wanting to make this for a while. So, number one, not getting up at 4 a.m. Okay? Now, one of my first mentors that I actually paid for, dropped a lot of money on over the years, used to do this. And during that time, and for a while after, I actually used to do it as well. And it served me well during that season. It did serve me well. I used to do it and I used to hate it. I've never been a morning person at all. And that means that anything below 7 a.m. was always a struggle for me. Like I never naturally got up at that time. Even when I'm like really motivated, want to do something, I'm just not a morning person, right? I feel a lot more awake even late into the night. But I wanted to switch that habit because everyone I saw online was like, get up early, attack the day, everything like that. And I agree with that 100%. 4 a.m. though, it's a different ball game. I think anything below 6 is a struggle, and anything below 5, when you see that 4 on the clock, is hard, right? No matter how much practice you get, no matter how many hours you get in before that, if you're not built for that, it can be very difficult for a long time, right? And it can be forced, and it doesn't feel natural. For me, I really, really hated it. I done it, especially during a season where we were literally manic and we were growing and we were scaling, and I couldn't hire people fast enough or delegate things fast enough during our business to get my time back. I literally needed every hour of that day. Some days I was literally working from the moment I got up early that time to late in the night, like 11, 12 night, only getting a couple of hours sleep, getting back up, going out again. And that is a lesson that I've got with me for life. With everything I know now, I don't think I'll need to go through that. I personally don't, because it's all about having the right people in the right seats and doing the right things. But that is something I will not be doing going forward. I know for a fact now, with what I know, that you can use your time much better, much more efficiently. And especially with all the tools we've got available today, I don't want to mention the word, but AI, like there is other things out there now that allows us to work more efficiently, get the same or more output from what required just manual work before. So ask yourself, do you need to get up at 4? Like, can 6 o'clock just do? Or can 5 o'clock just do? Like, even that is pushing it. If you need to go to the gym early to get in before you then go to work, if you still work in the 9 to 5, or if you're doing early shifts, fair enough, like different reason altogether. But if you're running your own business, if your time and your schedule is completely up to you, like this was me getting up before when it was like, it's my business. I've got 2 businesses to run and I'm still getting up at 4 a.m. So you don't need to do it. You can just work much more efficiently. I believe you function a lot better when you've got a good night's sleep. Depends on what that is for you, but I think realistically you can get away with 6-7 hours of good sleep. And yeah, if you go to bed at a good time, then why should you get up at 4? Like, I don't think you need to. And I actually function really well when I've had a full 8 hours of sleep, right? Something that is not glorified at all online. Like, it doesn't get much attraction online at all, but it sounds way cooler when you take a photo and put it up in your story at 4 o'clock with a coffee, but you start falling asleep at like midday. You're knackered. It does catch up with you. So that's just my experience. I will not be doing it again unless I'm forced to for whatever reason at some point in life. But yeah, not for me. Anyway, that's the first one. The second one is something that may rub people the wrong way, but hear me out, right? And this is masterminds, events, and this is me for 2026. I'm saying this, right? And networking. So I put network. Yeah, and you may be thinking, oh, hang on a minute, this is a bit weird. I events and meeting up with people, especially when you work from home or you work on your own, you're a solopreneur, whatever it is. Maybe you like going to events. You get to see all the people you look up to, and you meet other people in your shoes chasing the same things. That's a different reason altogether. But for me, like paying for masterminds, paying for group education, me and Beth, I took my partner out to Vegas. We went to acquisition.com. We done all that sort of stuff. I've been to big events with a good friend, Josh Thomas, and his accountancy firm. He put on a great event with Daniel Priestley. We had a really, really good event. I've been to some great events, like out in Marbella, different things. A couple of times we've done events out there, and I can tell you for a fact that yes, I've made some great friends and great connections from going to these events, right? And over the years, they've matured into something. Some have become really good friendships, like actual friendships, and some have actually become business opportunities, like stuff that's come from us meeting years prior or months prior, and it's turned into us working together, whether it's, I'm getting a service from them or they are invested in me for a service. And these are things I didn't expect from these events. So those have happened. But what I would say about masterminds, you're paying for whether it's the knowledge of the people in that group or the knowledge of the person you're going to see or listen to speak. You will learn a lot from that. But what season are you in? And I'm just telling you that in 2026, I've got a lot of plans laid out for both businesses. And I know exactly what I need to do to actually get there. Like the levels I want to get to, it's not like I'm saying I want to become a billionaire in 2026. I would have no clue. Like there's so many levels to get to that point. I would have no clue of what I'm doing or what vehicle to even use. But where I want to get to, I have learned enough over the last few years, and the seasons we've been through, the stages we've been through, the mistakes I've made, the amount of money I've lost, and it keeps me up at night still. Like it genuinely does. It's painful. Like it's one of the hardest things I've had to go through the last couple of years. But I have learned what I needed to learn to now get to the level that I want to get to. It just requires work and time. And I know I need to put that time in. And me going to these things, yes, it would be nice from the communication standpoint and actually getting around people. But for me, I'm saying no to these things right now. They will come back at the right time, especially when I hit another wall, another checkpoint, and I'm like, I want to push on, and I don't really know how. That's when I'd invest in like a mentor or something like that to really unlock that for me, and someone that's preferably actually done it, like not a mentor that just tells you they've done it and their business is actually just selling you that they've done it and they haven't done it. But anyway, that's a fake guru. So that's the reason why I'm not doing that, right? Okay? So hopefully you understand that and you understand my reasons for not doing that. Now another one that's probably going to rustle a few feathers is I'm saying no to podcasts in 2026. And specifically, I'm saying no to the Diary of a CEO. No, I'm joking. I'm saying no to the podcasts that have helped me a lot in the past, but I'm not going to indulge in watching them at all. A lot of it is mental masturbation. A lot of it is feeling like you're productive when maybe you're not feeling 100%, but you're like, I'll stick this on. I'm going to learn something. And sometimes I actually think that you can be you can have too much information when you don't need it. Sometimes your brain just needs to rest. And if you just need to rest. Don't just go and take in new information to feel like you're still being productive, especially if you've got all the information you need. Like what I just said was, I know what I need to do. I just need to execute. So when I'm trying to rest or chill out, I want to chill out. I want to do things that's going to take my mind off it. I want to spend time with my family. One of the biggest regrets I've got over the last 2 years, I've lost both grandparents, right? Both granddads on both sides. And yeah, it's been one of the roughest times, because a lot of the times when they were alive, the last couple of years they were alive, I didn't spend much time with them because I was so busy working. Like I was going through this whole like 4 a.m. stage, 18 hours a day, 16 hours a day, flat out, 7 days a week, no days off, all that sort of hustle culture mentality. Yes, the business was booming, but I can never get that time back now. And now I've got to a point where I've got more time, and I've got, like, I can't see them anymore. So yeah, that's one of those things that I just can't get back. And it is a regret. I've never said I've got regrets before, but it is one of those things I look back and I'm like, I wish I didn't do that, but it's done and I've learned my lesson. So I will not do that again. And I will not waste time this year on podcasts taking in new information I don't need to take in. So you may look at me and think, oh, he thinks he knows it all. I don't. I just know I'm always open to learning. I am always open to learning, but strategically. Like, I know this next season for me, especially this year, is all about getting my head down, doing the work I know I can do, and taking the business and myself to the level I want to get to again. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense. Why else would you listen to podcasts unless... for me, I've gone past the point of it even being entertainment anymore. Like, I will only listen to something now if I want to learn from it. I don't want to just listen to it for the sake of it being entertaining. I've got enough friends around me that are actually on the same level now. I think before, being truthful, I didn't have any friends around me that were like on the same level in terms of the way I thought and the things I wanted to do. But now I've actually been to these events, funny enough, and I've met these people and I've got friendships and I've got people around me that are all the same or similar. When I want to talk about stuff, I've got people around me. I've got a good circle. So now I'm going to say no to that a lot of business gurus will say that you need to do. One of them, right, I'm putting this down because I still see people talking about it, and it's up to you. I don't believe in like the whole journaling thing. I don't understand why you want to just I don't know. I've never done it. I've tried everything that they told me to do, but I'm not going to do journaling. Like, it's not something I want to do. I think my form of probably journaling, I suppose, is making content, like talking to the camera. It gets out there, it relates to people, and I connect with people. So I get to like speak my mind quite a lot, and I imagine that's what journaling is going to do. But I'm not going to be doing journaling. I'm not going to be writing down in a book. The only things I use for a book and writing down and focusing is always analyzing the business, tasks I need to do, stuff like that. So I'm going to keep it for that, and that's what I enjoy my book for, right? So I've got a fancy pen, I've got a fancy book, and I like to do that for the work, not to tell the book my diary of how I feel. But anyway, that's up to you. The other thing as well, I'm going to write this one in blue. Cold plunges, right? Now, there's a local boy to us called Kyan Fit, and he's blown up on social media, and he's doing exceptionally well. I train at a gym sometimes that he goes to, and he is famous for literally climbing up the mountains almost every day in the snow, fair play to him, and locally, whatever, just going in ice tubs and inspiring people to do hard stuff. And I love that. If that's the reason you want to do it, because you want to get into hard, like doing hard stuff, cold water, for that reason, mental resilience, I understand why you want to do it, right? I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it, right? and I'm not going to force myself to do something that's not going to give me that benefit. I do like it. I do it once a week. We've got one in our gym. I do it on a Sunday, and I do it generally on a rest day for recovery. From a hypertrophy perspective, which is my background, I just can't unsee like how negative it actually is for hypertrophy. It's not positive for hypertrophy, especially after training. And I see people in the gym sometimes literally do a session, go in the ice tub. I'm like, don't do that. Like, a time after training is when you want inflammation. You don't want to decrease it straight away and go cold straight away. Like, that's the time where the muscle wants to grow. You want blood flow into the muscle. But anyway, we're going on a different tangent now. So I can't unsee it, and I'm not going to do cold plunges, right? The only time I do like it, like I said, is on a rest day, because the benefits are going to be worth it physically, but also mentally. It does give you a good boost. So I understand why people do it in the morning. I'm not going to make a promise I'm not going to keep. I'm not going to get up in the morning. I'm not going to go and do a cold plunge. It's not happening. So don't even try and push me to do it, right? Now, this is another thing that a lot of people I see talking about, and this is a personal brand. And I don't know why, but it bugs me a little bit, right? The name just bugs me a little bit. And a lot of people are pushing it. I'll talk about one that I've had the pleasure of sitting next to at a dinner and asking some good questions with, and that's Daniel Priestley, and that was set up thanks to Josh as well, good friend. And he's pushing it. A lot of people are pushing this personal brand thing, and I think they generally believe in it. The difference is that I think people get wrong is they say build a personal brand, and that's what everyone's scrounging to do, which is like basically gain an audience online of people that like and trust you and want to buy stuff from you. That's basically what they're saying, which I don't disagree with that. However, when people just go out there just to build a personal brand, basically just to get famous, like just to get on podcasts, just to do things like that, you need to have a story. You need to have a reason for why people want to know you. I'm a fan of the show Kill Tony, which may turn some people against me. I don't know if you watch it, but it's a comedian show, right? And what they do is they have expert comedians on the panel. Just think about like X Factor or Britain's Got Talent, and then they pull random people who have thrown their name into a bucket, and they pull random people out, and they just get to do 1 minute of comedy, stand-up comedy, which is quite hard to an audience that doesn't know them. And they're judged immediately then basically on if they're good or bad, and stuff like that. So to me, I don't even know where that point was going. I think I just wanted to talk about Kill Tony. I know where I was going with it. So the point of bringing up Kill Tony is, I don't even know. I think I just wanted to talk about Kill Tony, to be honest, Brent. I've got it. There was a reason. The thing I've noticed with Kill Tony is that when people go up there and they're authentic, they've got a story, they've got something a little bit different about them. They're a character, and they're a clear character that you can recognize, and that comes from them just genuinely being themselves, like not trying to portray themselves a different way, because the audience sees through it, the panel sees through it straight away. And that's the same with social media. But you have to have a genuine story to be able to do that. You have to know what your story is, you have to know what you've been through, you have to know your experiences, and you have to be able to talk about them and communicate with them. And it's seen plain as day on Kill Tony within a minute. Within the quick interview they do afterwards, you can see straight away, and that decides whether the audience likes you or doesn't like you. And that's what you're doing on social media. If people are not following you or not engaging with your content, it's because you're not coming across in that way, or maybe you just haven't got the story yet. So if I was you, instead of focusing on the personal brand and just trying to get out there, I would actually build the story, like actually go and build the story, the foundation for what that needs to be. Now, one of the youngest guys I've seen do this successfully is Josh Thomas, again, the accountant, because that's what he's known for, accountancy. He is going to go on to be one of the best entrepreneurs I think the UK's probably produced, because he's only 25 still. He's already done exceptionally well financially, built a great business with over a 40-person headcount, which is insane. And I spent a lot of time with him. We spent over 5 weeks together in Cyprus, literally living in the same place. And that was fun. We didn't argue at all, to be honest. But we were working together on a project, and I can tell you the reason he is successful, the reason he's built over 100,000 followers, now 120 on Instagram, is probably over 150, maybe 200 across channels. He's going to go on to have millions of followers because he's got a genuine story. Just number one, a thing he's an expert in, which is accounting, and he can talk about that topic in depth and help a lot of people with a lot of value. But outside of that is now the other things he's built as well. You know, he's building his accountancy business. He's building an investment business. He's that story itself of the fact he's only 25 and able to do that. People want to talk to him. People want to know how the hell this guy that looks young, he looks incredibly young. Yeah, like he looks about 15. You probably hate me saying that, but you know, that's the big thing that stands out about him. He communicates incredibly well. So these are the things that you need to be working on first before you think, build a personal brand. And for me, I'm not going to be focused on building a personal brand. I don't deserve that yet. I don't deserve millions of followers or hundreds of thousands of followers, because who the hell am I? I need to build the story first. So I need to go to work and I need to build the story first. And then that's where the brand comes. So yeah, that's what I think anyway. That's my belief. And that's what I'm focusing on this year, is not building the personal brand, but building the story. Like actually building the work and doing the work. So yeah. And the last thing is, again, it's a little bit of a thing which may rub people the wrong way. And this is get a mentor. Now, I'm speaking to business owners on this one because that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to build a business. Coaching, mentoring, right? I've built a business selling coaching, right, which is fitness coaching. Now, why does that work? Because yes, you provide people all the information and the tools and the program that they don't know how to build themselves, right? That's one element to it. The other element is the accountability. I'd say that's probably arguably the most important thing, which is the accountability. So the accountability combined with the actual tool to get there to the result they actually want, that's what makes the whole thing incredibly valuable. If you're a business owner, if you're not accountable to doing the things that you know how to do, then you should not be a business owner. That may sound like a big statement or extreme, but I genuinely believe that. You should not be a business owner. If I say to you, like I've done on another video, you need to post once a day and you need to do 5 strategic messages per day. I know this sounds like what everyone would tell you to do, but if you can't do that, because if you may see that and think, oh, that's basic, that's boring, what's the secret? Do I not sound like literally a fitness client that says, what's the secret to fat loss? And you're like, there is no secret. You just need to be consistent over time. Yes, you can have the fancy best program in the world, and that's what they pay coaches for, but also they mainly pay them for the accountability to keep them consistent, to stop worrying every time they have a Domino's and throwing it all away and giving up and then getting back on track. That's what they're paying for. If you're a business owner and you're paying a mentor for accountability, you need to seriously ask yourself, is this something I can actually do for years, especially through the really rough times that are going to come? Why do you think all businesses fail within 5 years, like the majority of businesses? You need to be consistent even through the rough times. So that should be something that's already a trait that you've got. It's not something you should be paying a mentor to keep you accountable to run a business. So that's something I don't believe you need. I don't need it right now. Like I said, information. That's the other reason you get a mentor. Remember the 2 things, accountability and all the information. If you don't know the information, that's when I understand the value of a mentor in business. If you don't know how to get from level 5 to level 6, then yes, pay the mentor to unlock that. If they've only been there before, if they've definitely been there before and they're not just telling you they have and they're selling everyone else on the fact they have and that's their business, it's different. I know a lot of people like that. Get a mentor for that reason. If they unlock that ability, like if for example Josh, right, he's just been to Necker Island with Richard Branson. If he wanted to, I don't know, start an airplane company, and yeah, go and speak to Richard Branson, pay him £1 million, whatever it is, 100 grand for an hour or half hour, probably what you're gonna get. Pay him that money to give you that one conversation that's gonna answer all your questions. Right, how do I start? What do I do? Who do I contact? Who do I need? How many people do I need? How much money do I need? How much capital do I need to raise? Like, all those questions can be literally done within a conversation. Do you think he's then going to pay Richard Branson for accountability? No. These people know how to execute, but they need to know what they need to execute on. And that's what a mentor provides. And that's what I truly believe a mentor in business should be for. Only if they've been there and done it literally before. That's my opinion, and that's why I don't believe I need one in 2026, because I know what I need to do. I just need to go and do it. So yeah, that might be the same for you. If not, if you generally feel like, for example, you see me, I don't do mentoring, by the way, but if you see me and you're like, right, he's built a coaching business, fitness coaching business without a large following, to over 250 active clients with a team, yeah, maybe I might want to pay him to, you know, tell me, how do I get to 80 clients then? You know, if I'm at 20 now, how do I get to 80? That's an understandable point of like why you'd want to ask someone or work with someone. I get that. But anyway, if you want to understand your target audience, there's a link below to that video, and it's going to help you really identify that. But I hope this helps. Make sure you subscribe. These are things that most people push that you might not need to do in 2026. Hope you have a good year. Subscribe. We're all about growing and scaling the service business online. Thank you. I'll see you soon.